Louisville, home of the best scrapper, also home of the best rapper. Flow dapper, here's another chapter. Ride through, attack you, ride away your laughter. This is what I'm after, blowing on that rapper. Purple Patrol, keep a bunch to blow. I don't serve it though, murder flow. If it goes down, I'm the first to know.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and we back for some more of that Ali Land Daily Boxing Talk, people. And today we talking Welterweight Unification Tournament. Pacquiao Ugas Crawford Thurman and Spence for the unification fight. Alright, y'all, so how would I see this playing out? A welterweight unification tournament in 2021. Well, in my eyes, some news just came out from Manny Pacquiao, and he stated that he would like to make his return in April of 2021. He said that would be the perfect time with everything going on in the Philippines for him to make his return to the boxing ring. And, he has a mandatory, everybody knows there was a Mikey fight that was supposed to happen, didn't happen. But Ugas has made his name becoming the WBA regular champion. Unrecognized regular champion, but technically he is the WBA regular champion. So, in my eyes, Pacquiao versus Ugas would be the first fight in this tournament. How do I see that fight breaking out or breaking down? And who do I see winning? And why do I put Ugas as the guy I feel like Manny Pacquiao should be fighting? Well, basically, I got Ugas as the guy I think Pacquiao should actually fight, basically because he mimics the body type of Errol Spence and Terence Crawford very well. So if Pacquiao was to beat Ugas, I think it would be the perfect tune-up for either one of those guys. And I it's a dangerous fight. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel like Pacquiao should have to fight all of these guys because I don't believe it's fair for Pacquiao being the more seasoned out of all these fighters. But at the same time, you have to make it fair for everybody. So if we made it fair for everybody, Pacquiao should have to do what everybody else has to do, with the exception of Spence, because he holds the majority of the titles. Plus, he just fought Danny Garcia, so why should he have to take basically another tune-up? So, how do I see Pacquiao Ugas playing out? I think Pacquiao would have to come in with a similar fight he brought to the Keith Thurman fight. Just kind of using his power to overwhelm Ugas. I don't think it would be more of a speedy type fight. I think Pacquiao would have to sit down on his punches and try to get this guy out of here, because Ugas, he's a dangerous fighter. I've been looking at some of his footage, and he has very, very good knockout power. So, Pacquiao's a speedy guy. I think he can use his speed in this fight, but I think it would be more of a power play for Pacquiao, learning to use his power and spurts and boxing Ugas to the victory. So, to me, I see Pacquiao winning that fight. I would love it if he won. Like I said, I think it's the perfect tune-up for a Spence or Crawford fight. And I give a lot of props to Yordenis Ugas, man. He deserves his shot at this point. He's done everything to deserve the shot. So let's move on to the next fight. So if Pacquiao beat Ugas and moved on in the tournament, then you would have Terence Crawford taking on Keith Thurman. Now, why do I have Keith Thurman in there when I know a lot of people want to see Crawford fight Porter? Well, Thurman beat Porter, so he should deserve a shot. I know he lost to Pacquiao. He lost the super title to Pacquiao, but he lost it in a heck of a fight, a hell of a fight, and I still have his name up there toward the top of the welterweight list, just right above Sean Porter. And I hate to leave Sean Porter out of this, but I think Thurman is the better of those two guys. So, and I feel like Thurman would be the perfect fight for Terence Crawford. You know, Terence Crawford, everybody says he's not tested, he's not battle tested, he hasn't fought anybody. You know, the only guys he's fought have been the guys from Top Rank that Top Rank has available, and then, you know, last generation superstars who Errol Spence has already beat up on. So I just feel like Thurman's that guy, the perfect fit for a Terence Crawford fight, and the perfect guy to see what Terence Crawford can actually bring to the table. How do I see that fight playing out? Do I think Terence Crawford can beat Keith Thurman? I think it would be a heck of a fight. I think it would be a battle from beginning to the end. I think that because he had that Thurman had so much trouble dealing with Pacquiao's southpaw stance, Terence Crawford would be able to use his switch hitting to throw Thurman off, and I think he would actually defeat Thurman. I think he would do it maybe not by knockout, but by a unanimous decision. I think Thurman still gives him a heck of a fight. And then, you know, if Crawford beat Thurman and moved on to the finals of the welterweight unification fight, of course, then you would have Pacquiao taking on Terence Crawford, and, you know, the winner of that would get Errol Spence Jr. How do I see the Pacquiao Crawford fight, and why do I favor that fight over him going straight into an Errol Spence fight? Well, basically, I think Errol Spence is he's the top of the mountain when it comes to welterweights. I think he's the perfect body type. I think he brings everything to the table. I have him above Terence Crawford simply because he's fought all the great welterweights that are out there of this generation, with the exception of maybe one or two guys. And I think we have to see how Terence Crawford does when he gets in there with a better welterweight, when he's not just fighting the best guys that Top Rank has to offer, but he's fighting some of the best fighters at welterweight in the world. So, you know, me personally, I think Terence Crawford is the better fit for the first fight, instead of Pacquiao maybe fighting Ugas, then fighting Earl, then fighting Crawford. I don't think it should play out in that order. I think, like I said, he should have to fight Terence Crawford first, because I think Crawford is actually an easier fight. I think Pacquiao knows what Crawford brings to the table, being that they were both on Top Rank at the same time. And even Bob Arum had to say the matchmakers think Pacquiao is too much for Crawford. So there was something Bob Arum and those matchmakers saw in Terence Crawford's preparation, and there's something that they saw in Manny Pacquiao's preparation where they were a little worried about putting these two guys in the ring together, because they didn't know whether Pacquiao was going to be around for too much longer, and there was a chance Pacquiao could walk off with a pile of money and the only welterweight title that Top Rank Boxing still held at the time. So those are my reasons why I think the tournament should play out in that order. Now, how would I see Pacquiao versus Crawford? It would be an interesting fight. You know, you don't see too many southpaws facing off with each other nowadays. There are not a lot of southpaws in the game. So it would be interesting to see who or if Terence Crawford would actually come out in the southpaw stance to start out with, or if he would come out orthodox, and what weapons he would choose to use to try to take down Manny Pacquiao. Now, I believe in my mind that Pacquiao's speed would be the determining factor. Crawford has speed, but he doesn't have Manny Pacquiao style speed, and I think Pacquiao will be able to exploit some of the switching off that Terence Crawford might try to use. And I think Crawford would actually probably switch off too much and start to tangle his feet up, and Pacquiao, being that he's just a southpaw straight up, his speed moving around the ring, his angles, and his power all put together would be able to take Terence Crawford out. And I think he would be able to do that by unanimous decision rather than a straight knockout. So that would leave Manny Pacquiao versus versus Errol Spence JR for all the belts in the welterweight division in perhaps 2022, because Pacquiao has also come out and said he believes he could fight twice in 2021, and perhaps the Errol Spence unification fight would be the perfect way for Manny Pacquiao to end his boxing career. Now, is it going to play out in that order? We don't know. Nobody knows, man. It would just be interesting if it actually does play out in this order. And how do I see Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence Jr. ending? Well, being that Errol Spence is the pinnacle to me of welterweight, he is the top of the mountain. I don't feel like there's no one else out there better than him, besides Manny Pacquiao. I think this will be a war from beginning to end. I think that Manny Pacquiao would have to utilize his speed from the beginning of the fight to the end of the fight. Foot speed and hand speed. I think Errol Spence would try to lean on Pacquiao to tire him out. I think Errol Spence would try to use his power shots to the body to really try to tire Manny Pacquiao out. But I think if Pacquiao was able to muster up everything he has left in himself, everything that he's used throughout these 20 years of boxing, I think he could defeat and become the welterweight champion, unified of the world. Let me know what y'all think about that. How do y'all see it playing out? Should there be a welterweight unification tournament in 2021/2022? Who do you guys put in the tournament? Who do you guys think will win? Hit me up down in the comment section. As always, man, believe in yourself and follow your dreams, man. And of course, your dreams will come true if you put in real work to get there. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your cat, your uncle, your auntie, the man on the moon about Ali Land, Boxing Talk, and Cardinal Red. I'm definitely trying to grow this platform as big as I can get it. And with your help, man, we can get there. It's your boy Cardinal Red, and we are out of here.
Louisville, home of the best scrapper, also home of the best rapper. Flow dapper, here's another chapter. Ride through, attack you, ride away your laughter. This is what I'm after, blowing on that rapper. Purple Dro, keep a bunch to blow. I don't serve it though, murder flow. If it goes down, I'm the first to know.